If during the works you notice that he is not doing what you both agreed, then you have a duty to stop him working until such time as rectification has been made. We realise you are not a safety expert, but you must be vigilant of the contractor's actions whilst he is on your site. There is the very real potential for you also to be liable if an accident occurs on your site following a contractor incident. One of the documents the contractor will prepare and will require your signature on will be a clearance certificate. This is a document that the contractor has to prepare on your site prior to any works taking place.
Preview.
All contractors should have carried out a general risk assessment of their works and prepared a generic safety method statement for the work they are going to do. They may have many of these for all the different types of jobs they could be employed to do. As all service stations have their own characteristics, there may be items not covered on the contractor's generic documents. These differences are to be covered by the clearance certificate. This will ensure that the extra hazards relative to your site are identified and control measures put in place to reduce the risk to a manageable level. The contractor will require your input in the production of this document so you both can agree the hazards and precautions section. A clearance certificate will have a maximum operational time of 24 hours. If the contractor is on your site for more than one day, he will present you with a new certificate for signature at the start of each day. The reason for this is hazards change from day to day. The weather has a habit of not being constant.
Preview.
Deliveries may be happening and other contractors may arrive to carry out other works. Additionally, if the hazards or risks change significantly during the work, the clearance certificate may need to be amended or even renewed completely. For most jobs, 2 signatures are required on the clearance certificate before work commences. One will be the contractor's, the other will be yours. You are signing as the occupier of the premises, agreeing to the way the works are being carried out, and that all hazards not covered by the contractor's risk assessment and safety method statement have been identified and agreed. Your signature is the contractor's authority to work. Without this, he cannot and should not start the job. If you refuse to sign, then the contractor has to contact his employer for further instructions. You should not let him start work. If an incident occurs during the works which has legal implications, the clearance certificate will be inspected by the relevant authorities, together with the contractor's risk assessment and safety method statement. These may be used in a court of law should the incident go to trial. Only you or your designated representative trained in emergencies and is competent in the running of the site should sign. You should not in any circumstances allow an untrained member of your staff to sign it. Doing this may give rise to prosecution from the licensing authority or relevant enforcement agency. For these reasons and to protect yourself, it is crucial that you bother to read the clearance certificate and safety method statement and then agree the control measures with the contractor. We all know when people are explaining things to us, we try to envisage in our minds the perspective they are describing. If you sat 10 people in a room and explained something to them, you could end up with 10 different versions of the original explanation. Similarly, when the contractor is explaining what and where he has to carry out the works, your interpretation may be different to what the contractor is explaining. So you may be surprised during the works that their work area is larger than you anticipated, and the disruption to traffic flow may be more severe. It is important, therefore, to ask the contractor where he is going to work. Ask him to briefly mark out the area he intends to carry out the work and see what impact there is on traffic flows, particularly if you have a busy HGV customer base. Get him to show you and agree where he is to park his vehicle. If there is a high risk of impact from oncoming site traffic, he may want to use his vehicle as a barrier to protect himself as part of the control measures. Don't be surprised at this, as many contractors use this method. Once you've seen firsthand the measures that need to be taken, you have the opportunity to input your suggestions, bearing in mind you know what is happening on site that day. Having all this information will help you to be able to monitor the contractor's application and controls. When the contractor has completed the work described on the clearance certificate, he will require from you a signature to say that the work has been completed safely and the site left in a safe condition. Before you sign this, walk around the work area and check for yourself that no hazards have been left which could impact on the safe running of the site. For instance, if the contractor has been carrying out repairs to the canopy that entails new roof sheets and he is going to be there for a few days. Get his assurance before he leaves site that the roof sheets are secure and could not be detached in the wind. Once you sign for the second time, you are accepting responsibility for the condition of the site following the contractor's works. Don't accept the contractor's word that all measures have been taken. If anything happens pertaining to the said works once the contractor has left the site and you have signed accepting the condition, then the responsibility becomes yours. If the contractor is on your site for longer than 1 day, then you'll be asked to sign the certificate at the end of each day. It is important to realise the legal issues of site control in incompetent hands. For our exercise, how can the contractor be given the right information to work safely on your site if the person in charge has no training in emergencies and does not understand the workings of the site? The untrained operator on duty when the contractor arrives is more interested in sales and activating the self-service and will sign anything the contractor puts under his nose. If this situation arises on your site and an incident happens whilst the contractor is carrying out the work, you may play a major role in the responsibility trail during this investigation. Don't let the simple issue of not having the right staff on duty compromise your integrity for health and safety and the duty of care you have for all who visit your site, albeit a customer or contractor. If you are the site manager, then you have a legal duty to ensure that your staff are properly trained and know what to do. This is not a nice-to-have ability, it is a legal obligation. Do not be tempted to bury your head in the sand. Ignorance is never an excuse in the eyes of the law.
Can I speak to the manager, please?
Yes, I'm the manager. How can I help?
I've come to do some repairs on your canopy.
Right, before we do that, can I just see your passport, please?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. This is the UK Pyre one up to date? That's fine, thank you. And can I see the pre-work checklist that you've got?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We'll go through that in a moment when we go on the forecourt. And this is the clearance certificate. Fine, okay. I've got some information for that. The tanker's coming a bit later on today. And then this is safety method statement?
Yeah.
Fine, okay. And this is for this particular job we're actually going to do?
That's right.
Okay, lovely. Thanks a lot. I'll get the visitor's book and get you to sign in.
Thank you.
Aren't we the lucky ones? With all this knowledge we have today, we don't have to be health and safety experts to control contractors on our service stations. And by the way, we're all booked on a one-day course to learn our legal responsibilities. Crikey, there's another contractor coming. Let's show him what we know.
Now we've shown you what is required to control contractors on your site, what changes will you be making, Bob?
Well, Carol, before when we had contractors come to site, we very much left them to it. After all, they're the expert in their job. Now I see we have a legal duty to communicate with them to give them certain information to do the job safely. After all, we have a duty to our customers to make sure they're not put at risk during any of the works.
So what are you going to put in place?
Well, first of all, I'm booking all my staff, including myself, on a UK Pyre Site Operator one-day course, so they can understand our legal duties in relation to contractors. Also, we shall be checking all contractors that come to our site for their UK Pyre passports, safety method statements and clearance certificates.
What if they haven't got these?
Then we won't let them work, it's as simple as that.
So this operator has realised that he and his staff had been exposed over the years if an accident had occurred on his premises. So, don't rely on luck to keep you a lucky one. Get trained.